Hmm. First Samuel chapter 15 and verse 22. We have Samuel the prophet towards the end of his career, nearly. And then we have King Saul, the first king of the united or the nation of Israel before it got divided. And in First Samuel, just a little background, this is the first verse that I was taught in church, and it's because it was hung on the wall. This was back in 95. The second verse was in John chapter 4, where the Lord mentions that as many as are in the spirit, um, and it mentions that salvation is of the Jews, right? When he was telling the Samaritan woman, and she was inquiring about the Lord regarding worship, and the Lord said that he he desires those that worship him in spirit and in truth, right? And then he says, because salvation is of the Jews, right? Referring to place of worship, which was Jerusalem and not Samaria. But going back to King Saul, who thought that he can bring all these objects to sacrifice, and to please the Lord, and he thought he was going to please the Lord. And Samuel was, um, I think, fresh from his sleep, and he came up and confronted Saul, the king of Israel, the first king of Israel, and told him that the Lord does not have as much pleasure in sacrifices as in obedience. The Lord is not pleased by all these other offerings when our obedience is not fulfilled in Him. And that is very important. And that's a good way to start the week, because you don't want to be doing all these things that really don't please God, and then miss the point. The point is obedience unto the Lord, and that is what pleases the Lord. So whatever the Lord is asking of you this week, pray about it and ask the Lord to strengthen you to go about and doing those things that the Lord has put in your heart to do, and you will have a much more blessed week. I guarantee it. You'll be much more at peace with God.